Good evening. Listen, guys, I'm gonna try this. I gotta tell you a story. That you're listening to Chappy. It's Chap's Fantasy Chat, and I don't have internet. I'll tell you the story in a minute, but I'm gonna try and cut away and see if I can't get into the chat room to interact with you guys still. So bear tight. Let me know if this works or not. I know this is an awkward way to start the show, but this is kind of a life that we're all living right now. So hang on and bear with me and let's see if this works. If it does work, let me know, guys, that you can hear me in the chat room. So, again, I'll let this go. I will continue going with this. It looks as though it might be working. If we can get a little bit of verification there, Lenny, let me know you can hear me. I want to talk about some things. This is not going to be a PG episode of Chap's Fantasy Chat. My name's Chappy. I love fantasy baseball. I love fantasy sports in general. What I don't love is all this dead time, right? And, what we haven't really talked a whole lot about, and what I think is affecting my psyche more than anything, is the fact that for me, and I know for a lot of us, sports are an escape. Sports are a way for us to not think about the shit in life that we don't want to think about. And what the heck are we supposed to do now? What are we supposed to do when the biggest part of your release, really your only release, is taken away? Some people do drugs, some people drink, some people gamble, some people race cars. Can you hear me, Lenny? I love sports. And what we do to pass the time without sports has been one of the most challenging things for me personally. Because again, things happen in life, and I'm about to share with you a couple instances of what has happened to me. And listen, first off, I'm blessed. I go to work every day. I work my butt off, but I'm privileged to have a job doing what I do. Saving lives. I save lives, guys. I know that sounds like overblown. We make insulin. Without insulin, people fucking die. So I'm proud of that, right? But it's stressful. And that's why for 45 years now, I've come to sports as kind of my getaway from real life. And it's gone. Not one of them's gone, right? Not like, oh, well, you can't watch any college basketball. No, okay, I get it. It sucks, but all of them are gone, right? So I kind of feel like that guy kicking the can around the parking lot. So, what have I done to pass the time? One, the weather's starting to get warmer. We've been walking the dogs. We've been trying to go out and get some exercise, get some fresh air, walk the dogs. The dogs love it. But of course, that's weather dependent and, isn't always the best option if it's raining or whatever. The other thing I've been doing is starting all these stupid fucking shows that I don't care about. This last weekend, we started that stupid goddamn Tiger King, which we watched about an episode and a half of that shit, and you can have that. Jojo Rabbit was a really good movie. We watched that last night. And we started watching Arrested Development last night, which is, I know, an older show, but funny as hell, right? So all of these things kind of pass time when the real thing you want to be doing is talking about sports, in particular baseball. Arnie, I love Arnie. He had a draft the other night, Sunday night. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about why format's important. But I think it's important to know that as we do these shows, these podcasters put a lot of time and effort into the front ground of what you hear for that hour. And I'll tell you, a lot of things have to go right just to get to that point where you can come on air. And I'll tell you right now, just being honest, the world kind of took a shit on me this weekend. And I'm not saying, oh, woe is me. Everybody's fine. Everybody's healthy. I'm getting up Sunday morning. We're getting ready to do some garage work. As you all know, we've moved into this house about 2 months ago. We've had some issues. We love this house, but it is an older house that needs some TLC. We're going to work on the garage. We're both getting ready. I'm brushing my teeth, and it sounds like the television fell off the stand. We'll hear a tree had fallen on our power wire. So from 9 o'clock Sunday morning until about 8:30 Sunday night, we had no power. And I know I'm kind of going through a little slowly, but I think it's important to paint a picture, right? So we don't have power on Sunday. No big deal. Kind of working through some things. Really just kind of focused on keeping everything on task here. We get power back on. Like I said, it was probably between 8 and 9. A simple problem. The bell tower was taken out as well. We had no idea until after. So we still don't have internet. Point to all that. We don't have internet. So I'm doing this show on memory. I'm doing this show on memory. I got a 1-page piece of paper, and I got 2 phones I'm working off of. So let me know how I do. Hey, Andrea. Thank you for coming. Lenny, thank you for being here. I do have some things. I think it's important to talk about these things. And I want to brag a little bit. I want to brag about this draft I had at Artie's League. But I want to set this up before I go into it. First off, before I do that, I just want to say, what a great time to be alive. And I think a lot of you probably think I'm being sarcastic. And maybe I'm a little snarky about it. But this is a great opportunity for us as Americans to come together, to fight this with unity, to pick our brothers up, to do the right thing. Let's talk about baseball. Let's talk about happy things, okay? Format. Why is format important? And I love that Arnie did this, and I'm going to tell you why. Arnie reaches out to me midweek last week, maybe last weekend, says, hey, I want to do a draft this weekend. Are you interested? Free draft. Let me know. Absolutely. Let's do it. So sign up for this draft. It's on ESPN, which I'm not wild about. Actually, I kind of hate it. ESPN and CBS are probably my least favorite formats. But my brother Arnie wants to do it, and I want to support him. So he puts this league together. Get up on there. Look at some of the rules, some of the layouts, and lo and behold, made my day when I saw this as a Schultz league, right? And what I mean by that, it's saves and holds combined as one. So you get a save, you get a hold, they count the same. There's no formula difference. There's no saves 2, holds is 1. That makes a big difference, right? So right then and there, I knew right off the bat how I was going to approach the draft. In a Schultz league, it is really important to understand closers don't mean dick. You want to completely change your train of thought when you're in a Schultz league. What you want when you want a guy pitching in leverage situations, but that's got really good ratios. So I knew right off the bat when I heard this was a Schultz league that I was going to punt, figuratively, that category. knowing I could get some late. The guys I really wanted late. Okay? And the other part about that is that is such a volatile position that you can literally pick guys up that are in leverage situations all year long. So why would you invest high draft capital on closers when really their counterparts are just as valuable? Why spend on a Aroldis Chapman when Adam Ottavino is just as good, if not better? Right? So right off the bat, I knew what I wanted to do. The other thing I wanted to do, I wanted Matt Olson, or I was going to punt first base. Because I felt there's some guys later on in the draft that are good values at that position. And that would allow me to have some flexibility. I'll talk about those guys later, okay? But again, it's about having that thought process ahead of time. The other point I want to make is the draft order comes out. Arnie and I were talking about this last night. He's like, Chappy, he said, I did it live. He said, I'm sitting there thinking, oh, God, I don't want number one. I don't want number one. And I agree. It's not C.J. Cron, Adrian. Here's the thing. As crazy as this sounds, as crazy as this sounds, in a snake draft, in a 12-man team league, I want to pick 12. That's the pick I got. So I loved it because I got to sit there and cherry pick who I wanted the entire draft. And I figured this as soon as I saw where I was drafting that I wanted to team guys up. So you'll see that theme as I go down through here. I'm not going to go through this whole draft like Arnie did. He did a great job. I think it was yesterday morning, of talking about this draft. As he said, there were 3 podcasters in this draft, along with a lot of the regulars on this, on this channel. So, some really talented players, and I'm happy with what I got. This is a points league, so really, I went in kind of blind on points leagues because I don't play in those. So we'll see how it goes. Like Arnie said, maybe I end up being the 12th team in this. I don't know. I'm guessing I don't know. You never know. So let's talk about some of these guys and what my thought process was as I was going through them, right? First off, it was really interesting, as Arnie stated yesterday, the flow of the first round was rather wonky. I honestly, like I said, I didn't have power, so it was kind of hard I missed some of it. But I guess Trey Turner went 1, Yelich went 5th, and Bellinger went 9. I thought I was going to get Bellinger with the last pick of the first round. I really did. But fact of the matter is it all kind of worked out. I feel like I got 1 value and 1 reach. Andrew, you're not going to get it. No, it's not Voight. No, it's not Ken. Actually, it's 2 guys that are allowing me to get a 3rd. Okay? I love that I'm teasing you, though. So my first picks, again, picking 12th, I got Frankie Lindor sliding to me with the 12th pick, who I happily took and felt like he slid to me at 12. I really tried to balance reaching versus cherry picking, because when you don't pick for 22, 23 picks, you really better have an eye on the next good amount of picks, or you're gonna miss them, right? And I did miss a lot of players. That's okay. But again, I like to keep guys together, and I like to pair them up. I took Lindor at 12, and I reached a little bit for Rafa Devers, who everybody that knows me knows I love him, with the first pick of the second round. The way I looked at it is I had the left side of my